Today, guys, I have a little bit of a different video for you. And it's not directly political. You could say it's indirectly political. But it's about one of the few things that I enjoy outside of talking about politics. And today we're talking about cigars again. Some of you, if you're a new subscriber to my channel, may not know that I am an avid cigar and pipe smoker. I believe that it enhances my life. And today I would like to talk to you a little bit about that and why I would really love to interview a cigar maker. But I want to talk specifically about a new cigar that I got from Michael Knowles, the political commentator at the Daily Wire. He, like myself, is also an avid cigar smoker, and he decided that he wanted to put out his own cigar brand. They're called Mayflower Cigars. I don't know if you can see that band, that beautiful flower on it. But this is the dusk. They come in two sizes, or two flavors, excuse me. They come in a multitude of sizes. But they come in a Connecticut and a Ecuadorian Habano. I suppose this one is a Maduro. I don't know if it actually went through the Maduro process. The Maduro process is a special process of aging, which turns the tobacco darker, it's richer, it's fuller. And I've got the dusk right here. And I want to talk to you about why I would really love to interview a cigar maker. I told you before that I really wouldn't talk about cigars too much more than what I already have on this channel, because this is not a review channel. But I do believe that the cigar smoker and the cigar maker is a stronghold for preserving American freedom. And I want to talk about that in particular today and give you a little bit of a, we call it tasting notes, not a full review, but some impressions of this Mayflower cigar and see how good it is, because Michael put this out, and to be honest with you, I am skeptical anytime you see somebody put out a cigar brand, because it seems like any sort of celebrity these days has a cigar brand. But Michael, being an avid cigar smoker, someone who has smoked cigars since he was 15, I would trust him when it comes to that. So I want to see how this cigar is, and I want to talk to you about why I believe cigars are important, even to those who don't smoke them. So if you'll allow me to get this lit up, and then we'll talk about it. So I just got this lit up. And I have to say it's quite good. I'm not going to do a full review because that's not what you're here for. But I want to talk to you about why cigars are important to me. I've talked about it in the past, but I've gained a lot of new subscribers in that time. And I would like to talk about why my hobby is so important to me, and why I believe that cigar smokers and cigar makers are a wonderful symbol of the things that made America great. And in fact, the cigar maker is on the front lines of preserving American freedom, believe it or not. And that, my friends, is why it should matter to all Americans, whether you decide to indulge in a beautiful cigar like this. Get a good shot of that band. But it's a lovely hobby. And tobacco has long been demonized in the modern era. A lot of people will have you look at this and they'll say, well, oh, I'm giving myself cancer. But the cigar lifestyle enjoying premium tobacco, which is all hand-rolled, by the way, is a completely different lifestyle than that of the cigarette smoker. We take the smoke into our mouth strictly for taste and then blow it back out. It's a contemplative hobby. And I think it appeals to a lot of men, especially in today's world. There has begun to be a resurgence of cigar smokers because life is often busy in the modern world. And the cigar, at least for me, is a way to unwind, a way to relax. And I've written about that extensively. When I used to write articles, I did a series specifically related to cigar smoking and how the demonizing of cigar smoking is ridiculous. Because I'm going to be honest with you, when I got into it because I liked the idea of smoking cigars. I had no idea that I would enjoy the flavor and how beautiful that this hand-rolled product is. There are cigar makers, that are older than my age plus the age of all my listeners combined. And it's a beautiful family business that the government is trying to regulate and basically drive out of existence, really. And that's why it should matter to all people. Because if you support local businesses, if you support American innovation, even if you decide not to partake in the art of cigar smoking, in the practice, in the ritual, you should appreciate that these people are trying to preserve something that is time-honored, a time-honored tradition. And like I said, in most cases, they're generational family businesses. Now, Michael Knowles cigar is a relatively new cigar on the market, but I appreciate this. And it's a damn fine cigar. So far, I'm getting notes. It's very sweet of chocolate, a little bit of cedar, a little bit of nuts. Very nice. But Michael is relatively new in the cigar making business, but he's been smoking them since he was 15. But I'm sure that he appreciates being an avid cigar smoker himself. The fight, the legislative fight in particular, that cigar makers have to go through all the time, because they try to take this completely hand-rolled, handmade product and compare it to something like cigarettes, which is a horrible device that I think is the byproduct of a mechanical age. It's not like this. It's not a time-honored tradition. It's not hand-rolled. It's not handcrafted. When you think of cigars, you should think of something like a fine whiskey or a scotch or a wine. Now, I'm not a drinker, but I appreciate the process. I appreciate the fact that it comes from the earth and that there are artisans who put these things together and make blends. So cigars are like wine and whiskey in that way. It can't be regulated in the same way that cigarettes are, which are all done by machine and are the cheapest, most garbage cuts of tobacco that you could ever find. I'm not doing this for nicotine. Yes, there is some cancer risk, but it's very minimal. I've written about that. You can smoke, some people say, up to 3 to 4 cigars, some studies find, and not be at any risk for lung cancer or any of the major cancers. 3 to 4 a day. Now, when I wrote them, I said 2, but still 2 premium hand-rolled cigars, you can smoke those and be at no statistical relevant risk for cancer. It's so minuscule that it's not even worth talking about. So you have to ask yourself, Why have cigars been demonized? Because it's all about control. That's what it's always been about. And I had no idea until I actually got into the hobby that cigars were trying to be regulated out of business, and that the behavior of individuals in this country are trying to be controlled because big government does not like cigars. Cigars are not part of big tobacco. That should tell you something. And I would love to interview Michael or any cigar maker. But I want to publicly reach out to Michael because I think that he understands the politicization of the cigar and what an important role that it plays in preserving what the idea that made us great. The idea of personal freedom, of personal responsibility, of personal choice. Government's trying to take that away. And yes, they want it to go up in a puff of smoke. I want to reach out to Michael. I'd love to interview you. And I think my listeners would get a wonderful conversation out of this. Please drop a comment down below if you're interested. I believe it's beneficial. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for more political content. But I just wanted to get up here and talk about something that brings me a lot of happiness. See you in the next video.